Citadel Council.
The Council is an executive committee composed of representatives from the Asari Republics, the Turian Hierarchy, and the Solarian Union. Though they have no official power over the independent governments of other species, the Council's decisions carry great weight throughout the galaxy. No single Council race is strong enough to defy the other two, and all have a vested interest in compromise and cooperation. Each of the Council species has general characteristics associated with the various aspects of governing the galaxy. The Asari are typically seen as diplomats and mediators. The Solarians gather intelligence and information. The Turians provide the bulk of the military and peacekeeping forces. Any species granted an embassy on the Citadel is considered an associate member, bound by the accords of the Citadel Conventions. Associate members may bring issues to the attention of the Council, though they have no input on the decision. The Human Systems Alliance became an associate member of the Citadel in 2165.
What the heck does that mean? The Human System Alliance became an associate member of the Citadel in 2165. So, that just is saying that we joined the Citadel, right? That has nothing to do with the Council. Associate members may bring issues to the attention of the Council, though they have no input on the decision. Okay, makes sense. Where is it? Blah blah. Council race is strong enough. No single Council race is strong enough to defy the other two, and all have vested interests in compromise and cooperation. Can the Turian race not? The Turian race is not strong enough to defy the Solarians and the Asari. I mean, I guess. How would a full-out war between the Turians and the humans have gone? Because we did go to war with them, right? So I guess, fair enough, they can't defy the Asari and the Solarians, and they needed the Solarians genophage for the for the Krogan rebellion. So alright.
Spectres are agents from the Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance, and answer only to the Citadel Council. They are elite military operatives, granted the authority to deal with threats to peace and stability in whatever way they deem necessary. They operate independently or in groups of 2 or 3. Some are empathetic peacekeepers, resolving disputes through diplomacy. Others are cold-blooded assassins, ruthlessly dispatching problem individuals. All get the job done one way or another, often operating outside the bounds of galactic law. The Spectres were founded after the Solarians joined the Council. For many years they operated in secrecy as backroom problem solvers. Only after the Krogan rebellions did their activities become publicized. Assignment of a Spectre is less contentious than a military deployment, but makes it clear that the Council is concerned about a situation.
Like, come on. You straight up said that they can be ruthless, bloodthirsty killers and assassins, and that they can operate outside the bounds of the law. So once again, yo, Anderson, like, I get that you don't like Saren or what he does, and yeah, Saren messed up your outing as a Spectre, but the way he did it, it was not uncommon for a Spectre. Let's just be real here. Also, I like how they use a picture of Nihilus up there. Nihilus senpai. Humanity. Oh, here we go. We get our own section. Humanity and the System Alliance. The Alliance is the government and military of humanity beyond soul. I read all of that. I didn't process any of it. The Alliance is the government and military of humanity beyond soul. What does that mean?
Humanity's first contact with an alien race occurred in 2157. At that time, the Alliance allowed survey fleets to activate any dormant mass relays discovered, a practice considered dangerous and irresponsible by Council-aligned races. When a Turian patrol discovered a human fleet attempting to activate a relay, they attacked. One human vessel survived, retreating to the colony of Shanxi. The Turians followed, quickly defeating the local forces. Shanxi was occupied, the first and to date only human world to be conquered by an alien species. The Turians believed the handful of ships they defeated represented the bulk of human defenses, so they were unprepared when the Second Fleet, under Admiral Castany Drescher, launched a strong counteroffensive, evicting them from Shanxi. The Turians mobilized for full-scale war, drawing the attention of the rest of the galaxy. The Council quickly intervened, forcing a truce. Fortunately for humanity, the First Contact War was ended with a diplomatic solution.
Yo, what you mean, fortunately for humanity? Bring it on, let's go. We ready. You don't want none of this, Turians. Okay. What else we got up here? So, Alliance allowed survey fleets to activate any dormant mass relays discovered, a practice considered dangerous and irresponsible by Council-aligned races. So, we were just going around activating mass relays because we hadn't encountered any of the Council or Council races. And the Turians attacked us because the Council and Council races are like, hey, don't go around just doing that. Alright. They chased us back, beat us down on our planet, but they weren't ready for it. Okay, system alliances.
The Systems Alliance is an independent supranational government representing the interests of humanity as a whole. The Alliance is responsible for the governance and defense of all extrasolar colonies and stations. The Alliance grew out of the various national space programs as a matter of practicality. Sol's planets had been explored and exploited through piecemeal national efforts. The expense of colonizing entire new solar systems could not be met by any one country. With humans knowing that alien contact was inevitable, there was enough political will to jointly fund an international effort. Still, the Alliance was often disregarded by those on Earth until the First Contact War. While the national governments dithered and bickered over who should lead the effort to liberate Shanxi, the Alliance fleet struck decisively. Post-war public approval gave the Alliance the credibility to establish its own parliament and become the galactic face of humanity.
Okay, I processed all of that, and I get it. I just have nothing to say about it. Planets and locations, oh jeez, man, but we're getting close to the end. The Milky Way galaxy contains 200 to 400 billion stars. Most with a host of planets.
Pharos is a habitable world in the Attican Beta Cluster. 2/3 of the habitable surface is covered with the ruins of a crumbling Prothean megatropolis. In the millennia since the Prothean extinction, the ruins have been repeatedly picked over by looters many times. Pharos was considered a poor prospect for colonization, as little open ground remains for agriculture. The only sizable freshwater sources are the poles, which are tapped by the decaying Prothean aqueduct systems. The dead cities, while in good condition considering their antiquity, are of uncertain stability. Ground level is congested by a dozen meters of fallen debris, and the air is fouled by dust. In 2178, the Human Exogeny Corporation announced its intention to place a permanent colony on Pharos to thoroughly explore the ruins. The pioneer settlement was placed on the upper levels of several intact skyscrapers, using the surviving Prothean aqueducts and rooftop hydroponic gardens to support the population.
Okay. Looking at that picture, and that's where I'm going to be going inevitably. I don't think I'm going to like it.
Noveria is a cool, rocky world with most of its hydrosphere locked up in massive glaciers. A privately chartered colony world, the planet is owned by the Noveria Development Corporation Holding Company. The NDC is funded by investment capital from 24 high-technology development firms and administrated by an executive board representing their interests. The investors built remote hot labs in isolated locations across Noveria's surface. These facilities are used for research too dangerous or controversial to be performed elsewhere, as Noveria is technically not part of Citadel space and therefore exempt from Council law. By special arrangement, Citadel's special tactics and reconnaissance agents have been granted extraterritorial privileges, but it remains to be seen how committed the Executive Board is to that principle. Given its unique situation, it is understandable that Noveria is often implicated in all manner of wild conspiracy theories.
Man, all of that made me feel like I was in class listening to something I didn't want to hear. It was just a bunch of words going in one ear and out the other, and it made me tired. It genuinely made me tired. Noveria, please.
The terminus systems are located on the far side of the Attican Traverse, beyond the space administered by the Citadel Council or claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. It is populated by a loose affiliation of minor species, united only in their refusal to acknowledge the political authority of the Council or adhere to the Citadel conventions. Their independence comes at a price. The terminus is fraught with conflict. War among the various species is common, as governments and dictators constantly rise and fall. The region is a haven for illegal activities, particularly piracy and the slave trade. At least once a year, a fleet from the terminus invades the nearby Attican Traverse. These attacks are typically small raids against poorly defended colonies. The Council rarely retaliates, as sending patrols into the terminus systems could unify the disparate species against their common foe, triggering a long and costly war.
I say start a war. If they unify and become their own thing and we have a long war out of it, then come out ahead, then they'll all be unified, so we can push them around. No, no. Not Renegade, Shep. Renegade button does nothing. Uncharted worlds.
There are between 200 and 400 billion stars in the galaxy, and less than 1% of them have ever been visited or had their systems properly surveyed. Humanity's early expansion into the Attican Traverse was haphazard, a desperate race to claim habitable planets where populations can be economically settled. Ignored in the wake of this land grab were thousands of less hospitable worlds, each potentially rich with industrial resources. The wealth of entire solar systems lies untapped, waiting for corporate survey teams or independent pioneers to discover and exploit them. However, this is not an easy task. In addition to the environmental hazards, the fact that uncharted worlds are largely ignored makes them popular bases for criminals, revolutionaries, cults, and others who wish to remain unnoticed by galactic society.
That made me laugh. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it was the word cults. Cults are no laughing matter, but when y'all start taking overlooked planets as bases, I just think that's funny. Like a kid making a fort. Ships and vehicles. The technologies of space travel and surface mobility.
Faster than light drives use element zero cores to reduce the mass of the ship, allowing higher rates of acceleration. This effectively raises the speed of light within the mass effect field, allowing high-speed travel with negligible relativistic time dilation effects.
What?
Starships still require conventional thrusters. Chemical rockets, commercial fusion torch, economy ion engine, or military anti-proton drive.
Oh my God.
In addition to the FTL drive core. With only a core, a ship has no motive power. The amount of EZO and power required for a drive increases exponentially to the mass being moved and the degree it is being lightened.
Oh my God.
Very massive ships or very high speeds are prohibitively expensive. If the field collapses while the ship is moving at faster than light speed, the effects are catastrophic. The ship is snapped back to sublight velocity, the enormous excess energy shed in the form of lethal Cherenkov radiation.
You didn't say anything, and everything you did say was... I bet it made sense to somebody, but to me, oh dear jeez. Next.
Larger warships are generally classified in one of four weights. Frigates are small, fast ships used for scouting and screening of larger vessels. Frigates often operate in wolf pack flotillas. Cruisers are middleweight combatants, faster than dreadnoughts and more heavily armed than frigates. Cruisers are the standard patrol unit. and often lead frigate flotillas. Dreadnoughts are kilometer-long capital ships mounting heavy, long-range firepower. They are only deployed for the most vital missions. Carriers are dreadnought-sized vessels that also carry large numbers of fighters. Smaller vessels are almost exclusively used in a support role to the warships during combat. Fighters are one-man craft used to perform close-range attacks on enemy ships. Interceptors are one-man craft optimized for destroying opposing fighters.
Man, listen to all of this babble. Like, this makes sense, of course, but still just a bunch of babble. Also, the picture up there, took me a second to realize that was a mass relay. I thought it was some giant monster ship, but no, it's a mass relay with 2 ships coming out of the teleporting warp of the relay. Not a giant monster ship, though that would have been badass. Normandy.
The Normandy is a prototype starship developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of the Citadel Council. It is optimized for scouting and reconnaissance missions in unstable regions using state-of-the-art stealth technology. For most ships, the heat generated through standard operations is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, is able to temporarily sink this heat within the hull. Combined with refrigeration of the exterior hull, the ship can travel undetected for hours or drift passively for days of covert observation. This is not without risk. The stored heat must eventually be radiated, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive. Another component of the stealth system is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a Mass Effect core twice the standard size. The Tantalus drive generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
Man, most of that was, like, I didn't understand, but I understood a lot of things, especially the, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive. Okay. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Vehicle. Oh, I'll finally get to see if it's pronounced Mako or Mako.
The Mako infantry fighting vehicle was designed for the System Alliance's frigates. Though the interior is cramped, an M35 is small enough to be carried in the cargo bay and easily deployed on virtually any world. With its turreted 155mm mass accelerator and coaxially mounted machine gun, the Mako can provide a fire team with weapon support as well as mobility. Since Alliance Marines may be required to fight on any world, the Mako is environmentally sealed and equipped with microthrusters for use on low-gravity planetoids. The Mako is powered by a sealed hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell and includes a small Element Zero core. While not large enough to nullify the vehicle's mass, the core can reduce it enough to be safely airdropped. When used in conjunction with thrusters, it also allows the Mako to extricate itself from difficult terrain.
Okay, this little data entry also didn't cover one important thing, that the Mako sucks. Oh wait, is it Mako or Mako? Damn it, I have to put it again. No wait, it's the Mako. It's the Mako. Whew. Okay. It sucks. I don't remember much about Mass Effect 1. I remember like 3 things specifically, and I know all of Eden Prime now, but I remember this thing sucks. That's one of the things in my memory. Wait, how's it pronounced again?
The Mako...
Okay, Mako. Mako. Remember it. The everyday pieces of technology that support the modern lifestyle. I don't want to click this. There's gonna be like 50 things, isn't it? Oh, I'm damn sure not clicking this.
Biotics is the ability of rare individuals to manipulate dark energy and create Mass Effect fields through the use of electrical impulses from the brain. Intense training and surgically implanted amplifiers are necessary for a biotic to produce Mass Effect fields powerful enough for practical use. The relative strength of biotic abilities varies greatly among species and with each individual. There are 3 branches of biotics. Telekinesis uses mass-lowering fields to levitate or impel objects. Mass-raising kinetic fields are used to block or pin objects. Spatial distortion uses rapidly shifting mass fields to shred objects. Most organic species are capable of developing biotic abilities, though there are risks involved. Biotics are the result of an in utero exposure to element 0. This usually causes fatal cancers in the victim, but in rare cases, it coalesces into nodules within the fetus's developing nervous system.
What the heck did you just tell me? Well, there's why we got that email on the Citadel that said, "Biotic brothers and sisters, come, we must rewrite the injustice," or whatever it said. Probably because the person leading has a fatal cancer. AI, we don't need to go to. VI, I knew it was virtual intelligence, we don't need to see. Please don't be a lot, please don't be a lot, please don't be a lot.
An artificial intelligence is a self-aware computing system capable of learning and independent decision-making. Creation of a conscious AI requires adaptive code, a slow, expensive education, and a specialized quantum computer called a blue box. An AI cannot be transmitted across a communication channel or computer network. Without its blue box, an AI is no more than data files. Loading these files into a new blue box will create a new personality, as variations in the quantum hardware and runtime results create unpredictable variations. The Geth serve as a cautionary tale against the dangers of rogue AI, and in Citadel space, they are technically illegal. Advocacy groups argue, however, that an AI is a living, conscious entity, deserving the same rights as organics. They argue that continued use of the term artificial is institutionalized racism on the part of organic life. The term synthetic is considered the politically correct alternative.
Well, they can sit and spin, call them whatever I want. That way of thinking is going to be outdated in 100 years. Virtual intelligence.
A virtual intelligence is an advanced form of user interface software. VIs use a variety of methods to simulate natural conversation, including an audio interface and an avatar personality to interact with. Although a VI can provide a convincing emulation of sentience, they are not self-aware, nor can they learn or take independent action. VIs are used as operating systems on commercial and home computers. Minimal VI agents are also available. Agents are compact and specialized. Some serve as personal secretaries, filtering calls and scheduling meetings based on user-defined priorities. Others are advanced search engines, propagating themselves across the extranet to collate user-requested data. Commercial VIs in a variety of stock personalities are available at any software retailer. Boutique firms and hobbyists also build unique VIs to personal specification. Although software emulation of living personalities is illegal, reconstructions of famous historical figures are common.
Wait, what? All those software of famous historical... Okay, you can't do it of a living person. But like 2 weeks after their burial, they make an AI of that fool. Alright, I gotcha. There's even more. Yes.
Element 0 can increase or decrease the mass of a volume of space-time when subjected to an electrical current.
Oh dear God.
With a positive current, mass is increased. With a negative current, mass is decreased. The stronger the current, the greater the magnitude of the dark energy mass effect. In space, low-mass fields allow FTL travel and inexpensive surface-to-orbit transit. High-mass fields create artificial gravity and push space debris away from vessels. In manufacturing, low-mass fields permit the creation of evenly blended alloys, while high-mass compaction creates dense, sturdy construction materials. The military makes extensive use of mobility-enhancing technologies, with Mass Effect utilizing fighting vehicles standard frontline issue in most military forces. Mass Effect fields are also essential in the creation of kinetic barriers or shields to protect against enemy fire.
Why did I do this? Oh, listen to all of these back to back. Why? I'm full. I shouldn't have done it this way. There's still more to go.
Mass relays are feats of Prothean engineering advanced far beyond the technology of any living species. They are enormous structures scattered throughout the stars and can create corridors of virtually mass-free space, allowing instantaneous transit between locations separated by years or even centuries of travel using conventional FTL drives. Primary mass relays can propel ships thousands of light years, often from one spiral arm of the galaxy to another. However, they have fixed one-to-one connections. A primary relay connects to one other primary relay and nowhere else. Secondary relays can only propel ships across a few hundred light years. However, they are omnidirectional. A secondary relay can send a ship to any other relay within its limited range. There are many dormant primary relays whose corresponding twins have not yet been located. These are left inactive until their partner is charted, as established civilizations are unwilling to blindly open a passage that might connect them to a hostile species.
Omnitool, yay. Also, as established civilizations are unwilling to blindly open passages that might connect them to a hostile species. You got the Krogan, you've got the Turian. What hostile thing you expecting? And you got the humans, come on. What are you afraid of now? Like, you should have been afraid when it was just the Solarians and the Asari. And then you found the Rachni. Wait, no. Wait, you found the... Was the Rachni before or after? Yeah, it was just the Solarians and the Asari, and then they found the Rachni. Okay, it wasn't just them. I believe the Volus were there by that point too, but no military. So it was just those two. They found the Rachni, and then they found the Krogan, who helped face off against the Rachni. Then they found the Turians, who helped battle against the Krogan, right? You've got the Turians, you've got the humans. You can handle going into some places blindly. I'm gonna just say that.
Omnitools are handheld devices that combine a computer microframe, sensor analysis pack, and manufacturing fabricator. Versatile and reliable, an Omnitool can be used to analyze and adjust the functionality of most standard equipment, including weapons and armor, from a distance. The fabrication module can rapidly assemble small three-dimensional objects from common reusable industrial plastics, ceramics, and light alloys. This allows for field repairs and modifications to most standard items, as well as the reuse of salvaged equipment. Omnitools are standard issue for soldiers and first-in colonists.
That was mercifully short. I mean, it's still 2 paragraphs and a sentence, but by comparison, alright, armors, weapons, and equipment we don't need to hear. So we really don't need to hear this. We don't. Advances in technology have made individual soldiers more dangerous and survivable than ever before. Wait, what? More dangerous and survivable than ever before. That don't sound right to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
Combat hard suits use a dual-layer system to protect the wearer. The inner layer consists of fabric armor with kinetic padding. Areas that don't need to be flexible, such as the chest or shins, are reinforced with sheets of lightweight, ablative ceramic. The outer layer consists of automatically generated kinetic barriers. Objects traveling above a certain speed will trigger the barrier's reflex system and be deflected, provided there is enough energy left in the shield's power cell. Armored hard suits are sealable to protect the wearer from extremes of temperature and atmosphere. Standard equipment includes an onboard mini-frame and a communications, navigation, and sensing suite. The mini-frame is designed to accept and display data from a weapon's smart targeting system to make it easier to locate and eliminate enemies.
Yes, that's very nice. Kinetic barriers.
Kinetic barriers, more commonly called shields, provide protection against most mass accelerator weapons. Whether on a starship or a soldier's suit of armor, the basic principle remains the same. Kinetic barriers are repulsive mass effect fields, projected from tiny emitters. These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiation.
Biobullets. Also, the word repulsive has multiple definitions if you didn't know, and as well as kinetic barriers, commonly called shields. You're an a-hole. You're an a-hole. Science does a lot of things with having scientific words, and then they have a lesser, more commonly used word for it. This one though, this is some BS. Just call it a shield. There's no need to call it a kinetic barrier at any point. Get out of here. Get out of here. Medgels.
Medigel is a common medicinal salve used by paramedics, EMTs, and...
Pause. Salve. Not salve. Salve. Alright.
Medigel is a common medicinal salve.
Back. Medigel. Alright, fine. I'll give you that one, but it's still salve.
Medigel is a common medicinal salve used by paramedics, EMTs, and military personnel. It combines several useful applications: a local anesthetic, disinfectant, and clotting agent all in one. Once applied, the gel is designed to grip tight to flesh until subjected to a frequency of ultrasound. It is sealable against liquids, most notably blood, as well as contaminants and gases. The gel is a genetically engineered bioplasm created by the CERTA Foundation, a medical technology megacorp based on Earth. Technically, Medigel violates council laws against genetic engineering, but to date, it has proved far too useful to ban.
Yeah, that's some BS. It's technically illegal, but we're okay with it because it's useful to us. Bull, you hypocritical jackasses. Just unban the Also, is that Dr. Michelle up there? It looks like her, but then it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, small arms. Last one we gotta check for now. Oops.
All modern infantry weapons, from pistols to assault rifles, use micro-scaled mass accelerator technology. Projectiles consist of tiny metal slugs suspended within a mass-reducing field, accelerated by magnetic force to speeds that inflict kinetic damage. The ammo magazine is a simple block of metal. The gun's internal computer calculates the mass needed to reach the target based on distance, gravity, and atmospheric pressure, then shears off an appropriate-sized slug from the block. A single block can supply thousands of rounds, making ammo a non-issue during any engagement. Top-line weapons also feature smart targeting that allows them to correct for weather and environment. Firing on a target in a howling gale feels the same as it does on a calm day at the practice range. Smart targeting does not mean a bullet will automatically find the mark every time the trigger is pulled. It only makes it easier for the marksman to aim.
And we, thank goodness, are done. Mass Effect School is adjourned. Be sure to read your journals and check the codex. The test tomorrow will include non-council species as well as small arms, which we covered today. And I will see you kids tomorrow. I wish I had my gun. Shepard, why'd you put this on? Bring the guns back.